There's one MacBook that Apple has refused to make over the years, and just when we thought we had it coming, it did not come out. Now, I think that with your guys' help, along with other YouTubers, we can change Apple's mind, and we do have some hints that there's a possibility of it coming out. Now, here at Max Tech, we have a ton of MacBooks, every single one. In total, I think we have about 12 because we need them, but there's one MacBook that I absolutely wish that we had. We are huge fans of Apple Silicon. Vadim was talking about it before it was even announced, and once we got the M1 MacBook Air, it blew our minds because of the performance, because it was fanless, and because of how slim and lightweight it was. And when Apple finally announced the 14 and 16-inch MacBook Pros that had more powerful M1 Pro and M1 Max graphics, we were so excited for those machines. Now, I ordered multiples, including a 16-inch MacBook Pro for myself, spec'd exactly how I wanted it, but after using it for a while, I ended up returning that machine and sticking with a 14-inch model. But over the last year, I've actually been picking up and using a 16-inch MacBook Pro, even though I didn't want to, just because of the larger display, even though I didn't need the extra performance. And when the M2 MacBook Air was released, I absolutely loved it because of how thin and light it was, and of course the performance of the M2 chip if you don't get that base SSD and you upgrade the RAM. For the uses that I need, it does great at photo editing, video editing. With those new updated encoders including ProRes, it is a dream machine. But I still have to leave it at home when I need a larger display. And when I go and pick one of those up and I take it home with me, I love it because of how it just feels in the hand, how lightweight it is. And I really wish we had a 15-inch model, but Apple has refused to ever release a larger 15-inch MacBook Air, but things could change. But before I tell you how or why, if you're a Mac user that does any sort of work with documents, spreadsheets, or slideshows on your Mac, our sponsor SoftwareKeep is giving our viewers 25% off right now instead of 20% on genuine Microsoft software like a one-time purchase of Microsoft Office for Mac, which includes Word, Excel, and PowerPoint. Now, there are so many fishy websites out there that could scam you, but SoftwareKeep is a Microsoft certified partner who sells only 100% genuine Microsoft software, so you don't have to worry, which resulted in SoftwareKeep earning over 100,000 5-star reviews. They also have great prices on other software, including the most popular antivirus software out there, and their customer service is phenomenal with 24/7, 365 customer support, where you will talk to a real person instead of a robot. So if you have any questions, they will be glad to help. So buy Microsoft Office for Mac or anything else you need today and save 25% off their already great prices by using the link in the description and the coupon code MAXTECH25. Now, we've made videos on the 15-inch MacBook Air previously because we had leaks, but of course Apple only announced the 13-inch model. And it looks like Apple just decided not to move forward with it for this next generation, which of course is that M2 MacBook Air. Now, in that video, we made a poll asking you guys if you bought a 15 or a 16-inch previously, why did you buy it? And 37% of the 17,000 votes said that they just bought it because of the larger display, with the remaining saying they needed the extra performance. But this poll was made when we just had the M1 MacBook Air with weak graphics and a max of 16 gigs of RAM. But with the M2 MacBook Air, you can get 24 gigs. And if you get 16 gigs and 512, the performance, even for photo editing and for video editing, actually rivals the $2,000 14-inch MacBook Pro. And for coders, it is just seconds behind that machine, while being a lot thinner and also lighter, less expensive, and in terms of real-world battery life, it also beats it out. But with the low power mode, It is much better in terms of battery life because of the M2 chips, efficiency cores that can lower the wattage super low compared to the M1 Pro. And because of that, I absolutely love the M2 MacBook Air, but I still have to use a Pro because of the larger displays. Now, Luke Miani recently did a video on the 16-inch MacBook Pro, and the gist of it is that it is just too big and too heavy. Of course, Apple did make it a lot larger and heavier compared to the previous one. They brought back ports, we have extra performance, and because of that, in his poll, a lot of people just voted that they would rather have a 14-inch if the performance was the same because of the size and weight. That is exactly why I want a 15-inch MacBook Air to have that larger size, have good performance, great battery life in a super thin and light package. If you compare the M2 MacBook Air to the 16-inch, it is so much thinner for the body, and even standing up on the feet, it is thinner than just the main body of the 16-inch. Just imagine if Apple made a 15-inch MacBook Air, they kept the same thickness, maybe even the same battery capacity, and it would be that thin, it would be super light, unbelievably lightweight. For example, we've done videos on the LG Gram, and that thing is insanely lightweight, and the 15-inch version only weighs 2.5 pounds, while the dimensions are very similar to the 15-inch MacBook Pro. This machine wouldn't weigh that low, but it would still be incredibly lightweight for an all-aluminum laptop. So why hasn't Apple made one of these yet, and how can you help to make it happen? Well, as you guys know, Apple sales went up dramatically with Apple Silicon. They had crazy growth, and in 2021, their growth more than doubled compared to the same period previously. So they've been making a ton of money with people buying these machines, and if they make a 15-inch MacBook Air, that would mean that they're giving people a large screen size, but at the same time they would have to price it lower. But I think there is good news, because for 2022, Apple themselves said that Mac revenue is going to decline substantially. Of course, they didn't release any new models right now in the fall, and people that wanted a 14 or 16-inch likely already bought one. And we also have had polls that showed that most people cannot afford one of them, 97% of buyers, whereas the 16-inch is $2,500. But Apple has been changing their mindset. With the iPhone 14 Plus, that was the first time that they ever gave us a large screen phone for less than the price of the flagship, so you can get it for less money. And now people are being a lot more cautious with spending. It does seem like we're going into a recession, so people aren't going to be buying these $2,500 machines if they need that larger size. So if Apple releases a 15-inch model, it has to be soon. And we have had some more recent leaks about March, May, and June about a new 15-inch MacBook coming out. We've had info from Ross Young, a display analyst, about a display coming. And if Apple is going to make one, now would be the perfect time to make it. Now, we also had some info that it might not even be called the MacBook Air, and I think that totally makes sense because typically it's less expensive and it's a smaller size. They've never had a large one, but a 15-inch MacBook that's also thin and lightweight would make sense, and then they could price it not extremely low, but still much better than $2,500. For example, the 14 Plus is about $200 cheaper, but it has way less features. And with this one, they could make it, say, $2,000 or hopefully $1,600, $1,700, depending what the base spec would be, and give you something that's slim, lightweight, fanless, great performance, and a lot more affordable than $2,500. And I think that is going to be my dream machine. So please comment down below, comment other places on other YouTubers' channels, because Apple does go out and they do read that, they read forums, and they make their decisions when to push something back, what they should make, what they don't, taking that information into account. So let us know if this is a machine that you'd be interested in and how much you would be willing to pay for this 15-inch lightweight thin laptop. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and click that circle above to subscribe. Check out one of those great videos over there. This has been Max, and I'll see you in the next one.